Hey guys, welcome back. So, let's start with our topic. Stranger Things' popularity actually ruined the show. Stranger Things has been described as an instant classic. But with Stranger Things 4 on the way, even devoted fans are wondering if the show is becoming a victim of its own success. Stranger Things 3, the fourth most popular Netflix series ever, has been streamed over 500 million times, entrancing viewers with a mix of lovable characters, superb acting, and stunning cinematography. It remains to be seen, however, whether the new season will be able to recapture the original's magic. The show's homage to 1980s pop culture, with explicit visual references to Steven Spielberg, John Carpenter, and Stephen King, is a big part of its appeal. Stranger Things references are almost impossible to miss, but they aren't always so obvious as to be distracting. With its emphasis on remakes, reboots, and homages like Super 8, this almost guaranteed the show's popularity in the already nostalgia-soaked culture of the 2010s. Stranger Things provides a nostalgic thrill while also telling a compelling and unique story, combining familiar elements with exciting new characters and narratives. The show is known for avoiding cheap tricks and unexpected surprises in favor of gradual development. Steve is a good example, beginning as a stereotypically obnoxious high school jock and evolving into a complex, sympathetic character and audience favorite. Unfortunately, this approach has not always aided the show's storytelling, with central characters appearing to be sidelined in favor of an ever-expanding roster of new faces. As a result, by the third season, central characters, such as Will, have been largely ignored where they should have been the emotional center of the story, with the emphasis shifting to more popular characters, such as Steve and Dustin. Furthermore, with viewers becoming so invested in this cast, the writers' options for taking the story in new directions are becoming increasingly limited. Characters who had complete story arcs in Season 1 were brought back with less to do in later seasons. Stranger Things mystery storytelling was initially one of its most compelling aspects, capitalizing on the same impulse that J.J. Abrams employs so effectively, the viewer's desire to discover the secrets buried at the heart of the story. The writing capitalized on this by never revealing more than the characters already knew. As a result, the gradual reveals were intensely memorable, full of dread and horror. By the third season, this is mostly gone, with the writing now following rules that viewers are familiar with and understand. The suspense is broken as the first episode reveals all the answers right away, ripping the rug out from under the characters' individual stories. When the strange events Nancy is investigating are explained, Nancy's story loses its impact. The Soviet scientist Joyce and Hopper meet is unsurprising given the Russians' presence in Hawkins in the opening scenes. The story would be much less compelling without the mystery. All of this isn't to say that the show has lost its luster. Stranger Things, on the other hand, continues to have a devoted fan base eager to see what happens next, as evidenced by the viewing figures. Stranger Things is one of the best series available to stream, even at its worst, with phenomenal overall quality. This is unlikely to change in the future, especially if the Duffer Brothers listened to audience criticisms and took them into account while filming Stranger Things 4, which is set to premiere in mid-2022. Even if the show's current status makes development increasingly difficult, there are likely to be many more horrors and mysteries to uncover. Many aspects of the show can be overlooked simply because they make Stranger Things more enjoyable to watch. But certain plot points or character developments throughout the series simply don't make sense, and it appears that fans of the show deliberately ignore them in order to preserve the magic. Obviously, Joyce and Will's Christmas-like communication system was really cool, and it became one of the most iconic elements of Stranger Things as a series. However, there is no explanation for how it works in practice. There have been numerous theories proposed as to how such communication could be possible. But the fact that Joyce figured out such a strange method of communication and will somehow figured out how to use it flawlessly pushes the boundaries of belief. To be clear, Jim Hopper is clearly the sheriff of Hawkins for a reason, and he appears to have been a capable big city cop prior to his return to Indiana. Even with that in mind, he manages to outwit an entire government operation that has successfully kept itself hidden in Hawkins for years. And it's even more impressive that he faces off against so many brilliant experts and almost always wins. While Eleven's presumed death may have put any government baddies off her trail, given how powerful she was and what a huge investment she'd been for so long, it's strange that Hopper manages to hide her in Hawkins for months without anyone being suspicious or even looking into it. When a valuable asset like Eleven goes missing or appears to be dead, everyone double-checks to make sure she's really gone. Becoming a one-man army against a massive and sophisticated government black ops organization is one thing, but the fact that the Stranger Things kids are so skilled at defeating these special agents, doctors, and operatives is incredible. Yes, that's part of the fun of Stranger Things, and it's clearly a nod to classic 80s films that ask audiences to suspend their disbelief in the same way. But this is a consistent plot point that doesn't hold up to scrutiny. It's one thing for the US government to abandon its exploration of the Upside Down or its research into superpowered children. But it's quite another for them to ignore the fact that Russian agents are constructing an entire facility right on top of an interdimensional tier. The idea that no one in the US government would pay attention to Hawkins closely enough to notice a minor Russian invasion is absurd. This is more of a character development issue than a factual or logical issue. But many of the Stranger Things characters have experienced extreme trauma and don't seem to be negatively affected by it. The show does a good job of exploring Will's post-trauma experience, but Hopper has lost a child, and Elle has spent her entire life being abused, and they both seem incredibly well-adjusted given their circumstances. The Demogorgon was first, followed by the Demodogs, and finally by the Mind Flayer. While it's to be expected that any series will constantly up the ante when it comes to threats that the main characters must face, it's awfully narratively convenient that every time the Stranger Things crew appears to have defeated one foe, another bigger, badder, and stronger foe appears in the following season. The Upside Down is one of Stranger Things' coolest and most unique aspects, but how it actually works appears to be wildly inconsistent. Some portals between the Upside Down and the real world appear to vanish on their own, while others remain and must be psychically sealed by someone like Eleven. And the link between the Upside Down and this world appeared to be the result of Elle astrally projecting herself into it. But when she touched the Demogorgon, it actually sensed her. So, was she physically present or not? Given the obvious strong connection between the Upside Down and this world, it's not entirely unbelievable that humans could survive there for extended periods of time. It does, however, appear extremely unlikely. The Earth's atmosphere is a very delicate and specific balance, so it's strange that a place as drastically different environmentally as the Upside Down is a place where humans can even breathe. The fact that the Upside Down is a warped copy of the real world is what makes it so unique and memorable. But the question is, why is this the case? Perhaps an explanation for the nature of the Upside Down will be provided before Stranger Things concludes. But the existence of a physically identical alternate dimension right next to our own is strange and difficult to believe. Stranger Things follows the same plot as many other stories or series. There is a supposedly fictional monster that appears to be from a parallel universe, and the kids fighting the monster have superpowers or special abilities. If you want to show that Stranger Things talks about friendship and bravery, courage, and so on, I can proudly say that the Harry Potter series, and many other series as well do. It certainly evokes feelings of nostalgia, but that's about it, in my opinion. To add to my point, the characters are not very interesting either. For example, Eleven does not have much of a personality, but is still very light, which I believe is completely arbitrary and solely due to the fact that he is a boy. Eleven has superhuman abilities. To be clear, I'm not saying it's not worth watching. I'm just saying it's not as unique as people claim it to be. That's all we had for you today. Hope you enjoyed the show. If so, please let us know in the comment section. For this and many more videos, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, show us some love by clicking on the like button below and sharing the video with your friends and family. Hit the notification bell to notify you every time we upload a new video. Bye. See you next time in the upcoming video, and take care of yourselves.